So last week we did simplification or order of operation, and I hope you loved doing those sums because it was a challenge, okay? A challenge to complete the sum and get the right answer, because we have to do in certain steps, step by step. So this week, now it's already over, it's finished. I hope everyone understood. Now this week, we are going to start with something very, very easy, which we have already done before. Okay? So it's known as decimals. So before, let me explain the definition of decimal point. What does decimal point mean? The dot, remember, Tika, I hope you remember, the dot or the point between the two digits is called the decimal point. And this decimal point is important because it separates the whole numbers from the fractions. The whole numbers from the fractions. For example, 3, 5.126. So whatever numbers come before the decimal is the whole numbers, and whatever comes after the decimal point are the fractions, which you will know later. Now, we use decimal point in rupees and paise to separate rupees and paise. 46 rupees, 36 paise. 147 rupees, 2 paise. We use decimal point to separate meters and centimeters also. Okay? Okay? 2.14. We don't have to write point, but at least we know that the numbers of this point, when you see the point, it means it is 2 meters and how many centimeters? 15 centimeters. So this decimal point is important because it separates two numbers between the two digits, separates the two digits, telling us that the number that comes before the decimal point are the whole numbers, and after it are the fractions. So let me just do the place values. Okay? So let's start with 1000. Remember, ones, tens, 100,000, hundreds, thousand, tens, ones. Then we have a decimal point. Now, after the decimal point, we start with tens. T-E-N-T-H-S, tens. Then hundreds, H-U-N-D-R-E-D-T-H-S. And then thousands. We are only going to do up to thousands. Okay? But before that, I want to show you something. Let's keep writing this. Let us do it in numbers and then we will do it in those brackets. For 2, 6, 7, 5.136 now. Don't look at the numbers that are after the point. Before the point. Ones, tens, 100, 1,000. And then tens, hundreds, 1,000. So this is which one? Ones. Let's not write it here. Let's write it at the top. Ones, tens, 100, th, 1,000. 2,675. Now, the numbers that come after the decimal point, this is the point, decimal point, the number, the first one begins with not ones but tens. T-E-N-T-H-S. Just like here. After decimal point, tens. Then it is 3 hundredths. THS. And this 6 thousandths. So remember, dear children, before the point, just like before, we used to do 1, 10, 100,000, but after decimal point, we don't start with 1, we start with tens. Over here, tens, T-E-N-S, T-E-N-S, H-U-N-D-R-E-D-S, but we have H-U-N-D-R-E-D-T-H-S. It's thousands, T-H-S. It's tens, T-H-S. Okay, that's the difference between the place value in the whole numbers and the fractions. Now, let me explain different ways we write the place value. So, let me write number 2, 3, 4, 6.3, 4, 5. Okay? So we read before the decimal point, we read the number as 2,346. Okay? And when we expand this, this is expand. When we expand 2,000 to 0, 300 plus 300. When we expand 40, 40 and plus 6. And now let's do the numbers that come after the decimals. And when we expand there, you can expand it in 2 ways. Okay? So one way is writing in a fraction 3. What is it? 3 tenths. That's how we read the number. Again, 3 tenths, 4 hundredths, 5 thousandths. So 3 tenths, 3 upon 10. 4 hundredths, 4 upon 100, 4 hundredths. 5 thousandths, 5 thousand upon 1,000. When it says tenths, it should be 10. Hundreds, hundred, thousand, thousand. So 3 tenths, 4 hundredths, 5 thousandths. When you read that number. Okay? So this can be written in decimals also. This can be written as 0.3. Okay? This number is that comes just before the decimal point. 0.3. Or you can write 3. You can count 1 point. You remember 1.0. Okay? This number can be written as 0. It's in hundredths place value. So we have to put 4 in the hundredths place value. So there is no tenths. So we have to put 4 in the hundredths. So we get 0.04. Another way that we had learned was write 4. You can count 1 to 0.1 to 0.0. That's how we convert fraction into decimals. I hope it's coming back. I hope you're recalling it. So 5,000, 0 point. We have to put 5 in the thousands place value. So we can put 005. 005 and convert this fraction in decimals. We write 5, 1, 2, 3 point. 1, 2, 3.0. This I will explain later when we do the other sums, like convert fractions in decimals and decimals into fractions. Now let's do another exercise as to how we can write fractions as decimals and how to read. So let's write the fractions here. Fractions. So let me do 3. 7 upon 10, 65 upon 100, 435 upon 1000. Okay, let's write the decimal number. And let's write and read. It can be read as or written as. Are we ready? I hope you understand it. This is just a revision from last year. So, when you read the fraction, it says 7 tenths, 65 hundredths, 433 thousandths. Now, let's convert this fraction into decimal numbers. So I told you to 7, 1, and this one changes back into point. 1, point. 1, 2, point. 1, 2, 3, point. 1.0. Okay? And 0.7 is written as, look at this, 7. You can write as 7 tenths. Or you read this in fraction and decimals you write 0.7. Okay? When you read the fraction 7 tenths, this is when you read the fraction, and when you read the decimal. Again, 7 tenths changing into decimal 0.7. First we read as fraction 7 tenths. 7 tenths. Read this as decimal 0.7. 0.7. Now we convert the second fraction into decimal 1 to point. 1 to point 0. Now we read this as 65 hundredths. I don't have space there, so I'm writing it below. THS. 65 hundredths. So we write 65 hundredths. And decimal we read as 0.65. Okay, I hope you are understanding. It's easy. Now we convert this into decimal. So we write 4, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3 points. 1, 2, 3 points. And there's no number here, so we put the 0. We read this as 435 thousandths. 435 thousandths. 435 thousandths. THS. So we read this 435,000, 435,000, and this one is easy. What you write? 0.45. In decimal we write 0.435. Okay? So today we have learned what a decimal point is. Decimal point is the dot of a point between the two digits is called the decimal point. I have given an example of rupees and paise. It separates the rupees, there's a point there, and the paise. The numbers that come before the point are the whole numbers. The numbers that come after the point are the fractions. Then we have done place value. Place value of numbers 4, 6, 7, 8.143. Let's look at the numbers that come before the decimal point. Ones, tens, 100,000. This is point. After point we begin with tens, hundreds, thousands. Remember that. Okay? Then we did the place value chart of the different numbers, how it can be written in fraction and in decimals, and here we can write fractions, we can write as decimals. Now the same number can be converted to fractions. Fractions has been converted into decimals, but we can also convert decimal numbers into fractions. 7 tenths, 7 tenths. 0.7, 0.7. 65 hundred, 65 hundreds, 65 hundreds. 0.65, we write inverse 0.65. 435 thousands, 435 thousands. 0.45, 0.45. Now, wasn't that easy? It was just a revision for us. I hope you have understood. Please look at the video to understand better. So, dear children, see you till next week. Stay safe and stay at home. Bye.